This video may be a little blurry, but I said I was going to do it anyway. I just came from prayer, and God spoke some things in prayer and even before prayer, and I'm just going to release it. I've put up a couple of posts out there, and but God said do a video. So the end of the year is so very important. I've been putting things out there like 20 days to go, 16 days to go, but I heard God say so strong, I still have time. I still have time. My job is not done in this year. I know we're planning for our New Year's celebrations or parties or whatever. I know we're already thinking about what we're going to do in 2023, but God says, do not take for granted the time that I have in 2022. It is still time for you to be blessed. There's still time for you to get strategy. There's still time for you to have vision. There's still time for you to give birth. God told me that this year was a year of planting. And in many times we talk about that in terms of planting seed, whether it be money, whether it be time, out of ourselves. But God told me that this year you were the seed. This year you were planted. That's why it was so difficult. That's why sometimes it was so hard. That's why you felt alone in a cocoon, because you literally became the seed this year. And God took me to Psalms 22, and I would just encourage you in your own time to just read the entire chapter of Psalms 22, because it was a representation of what God was doing in this year. He was allowing us to be planted because what's inside of us now has to come forth. In prayer, I heard that many of you have been pregnant too long. You have been in labor too long. You have been giving birth for too long. God says now it's time for it to manifest. Now it's time for you to push. Now it's time for you to push. Now it's time for you to push. It's time for you to give birth. And God says this is the season. Do not take for granted the next days that we have before 2023, because He still has time. You became the seed. And if you continue to read that chapter, Psalms 22, in verse 22, something incredible happens. It goes from complaining about what was to taking authority of what is. There's a perspective shift in verse 22, and it says, I will praise you. So yes, there may be ridicule. Yes, the dogs may be coming after you. Yes, it may have felt like you were alone. Yes, people may have mocked you. But in verse 22, it shifts, the perspective shifts, and it says, I will praise you. It starts declaring. And then later in the verse, in verse 30, it starts to talk about other generations. And in the King James Version, it actually talks about the word seed for the generations. And so it went from complaining about the problems to changing the perspective to prophesying over what's next. And I hear the voice of God say that that is what He has done this year. So you have to be mindful. Listen to what I'm saying. Yes, there was problems this year. Yes, there were issues. Yes, there were ridicule. Yes, there were things taken from you. Yes, there were things stolen from you. Yes, there were things that hurt you. Yes, there were things that you lost. Yes, that happened. Yes, all of that happened. Everything that you could complain about, you're right, it happened. But you have to change your perspective quickly. It's time to do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Change your perspective and choose to praise God anyway. Choose to serve God anyway. Choose to know that God has it under control anyway. And when you do that, now you need to start declaring what already is, because you have to start. This is the season. These are the next few days that what you say, you will see what you say. These are the next few days that you're going to see manifested what it is. So like I said, go back and listen to past prophecies, past words of knowledge, past things that were spoken to you spiritually, even from mentors. I want you to go back and rehearse those things, because God is about to manifest it. He told me in the prayer that it's sprouting season. It's birthing season. So you were planted. You were the seed this year. It wasn't your money so much. It wasn't your time. You became the seed. You were planted in the ground. That's why you felt alone. That's why you felt torn. That's why you felt dark. That's why you felt nobody understood. That's why you felt unseen. That's why you felt buried, because you were the seed. But it's sprouting season. I heard God say it is sprouting season, and the sprout is not going to happen on January 1st. The sprout is happening before the end of the year. So I'm done. I just wanted to encourage you. read Psalms 22 and look at it in a chronological fashion, and then make sure that you are hearing the prophecies, the prophetic words, the spoken words that was said over you this year. Rehearse them, get it in your spirit so you can recognize it when it comes, and then plant seeds. If it's your time to plant seeds this year, there's some of you that you don't need to enter 2023 without planting the seed this year. The book that you never started, go ahead and start writing. Go ahead and start looking at how you can go back to school. Go ahead and start repairing that relationship. Go ahead and start praying over your kids. Go ahead and start changing your lifestyle, your sleep schedule, your wake up schedule, your routine. Go ahead and start changing your eating habits. Go ahead and start preparing your money for the accounts that you will have. Go ahead and start preparing your finances now, because it's sprouting season, it's birthing season, and you want to be prepared so the seeds that you plant this year will manifest a harvest next year. But if you don't plant it, it can't harvest. So God said, make sure you're planting seeds. Listen to the prophecies, listen to the words that have been spoken over you. Plant those seeds this year. Do it this year. If you haven't started the business, start writing the plans this year. Start the journey this year. Don't let this year go. And then finally, read Psalms 22 and recognize the shift in perspective and start declaring over your life. Declaring over your family, declaring over your finances, because you will have what you say. I love y'all.